Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. We've had a nice little push up here and we were actually talking about the possibility of this yesterday and actually for a few days now that we could be looking for a potential to push to the upside. So if you'd like to see more about that, why don't you check out some of the previous videos. But before we jump into the price action today, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications, and that way you'll never miss a video. Okay, so let's have a look at what we think is going on here. So we're talking about being right in the last sort of zones we'd be looking for this as a wave 2. We haven't managed to cross above this 1352, though there are some options now which are potentially playing out, which we need to keep a track on. If I'd go into this high point here, basically from this high point down to this low point here, we can see that the zone that we're looking for really as a maximum for this wave 2 would be this 0.854, which is not far off of being hit, which sits at this 1321. So I'd be interested to see how we react around this zone, but there is a potential here that we could be looking to come back up and cross this 1352 zone. So we just need to talk about that. So the idea with that would potentially be that we haven't completed this as a B wave, this yellow B wave here. So we did talk about this before, and what we could be looking for is basically, if I just have a look at this breakout potential, we could look at this as a potential ABC pattern that is actually still playing out here, and then we would be looking to drop down after this completion. So it is possible that we could be looking to push up for this C wave, though we haven't confirmed with this fourth wave yet. So we just need to be a bit wary because you can count this in a couple of ways in the beginning here. So we just need to be aware that this could just move up here to this 1.618 and then look to break down, though we could also be looking to extend a bit higher up here and see if we get this additional fourth wave to the downside. So we can see we're getting a little bit of rejection now. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. But basically within this move, there's the potential that we have this as a bigger 5-wave move. So we have actually come up and we have hit this typical third wave area. So it's possible we could actually look to start breaking down for this fourth wave now. So if we have completed here, and basically if we go from this low point here up into this high point, basically the area would be looking to move down would be anywhere really sort of the lower range would be this 1302, but generally speaking this tends to come down towards this 0.382 to this 0.5 zone. So this is a typical area that we could look to retrace to. So this 1268 and this 1250. So this 1268 would actually bring us back down into the range of these tops here, and that could be a potential area we could look to retest. Alternatively, because if we sometimes when we have a strong wave 3 like this, what we can see is we might only come back and retest the higher range of these. So this 146, this 236 zone. So we'll have to see how it plays out. The thing is with this, I would be expecting it to play out as a zigzag if it as a for this fourth wave. So we need to see how this reacts. So we need confirmation by having this fourth wave come in and then looking for progression back to the upside here. So I'm going to actually go down into the micro counting now on this and potentially what we're looking for. So we're looking at this in a few ways. We can either look at this potentially as an extension within the fifth wave, and what we'd be looking for here is effectively a 1, 2, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3 into this high point. This is a fourth wave, and then looking for this as a potential extension to the upside here in a fifth wave. So this can happen. Sometimes it's more likely the third wave extends, but it is possible we could have this as a fifth wave extension. So if I come down into this low point here, we can see that we've actually just come up towards this 1.618. So it is possible we've actually completed here. And what we have is basically this is a wave 1. I'll mark it out. Actually, we could look at this as a wave 1, 2. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So it is possible we didn't quite reach this this 1.618 here. So this 1325 zone. So it's possible we've got a little bit more to go here and we're actually still within this third wave. But if we have completed here, effectively what we'd be looking for is a fourth wave to the downside, and then that additional fifth wave. So we need to see how this plays out within this, because it is also possible that we could look at this as a flat, where this is an A, a B, and a C, where actually we finish here. If this is a flat correction over here, effectively then what we would have is that we would start counting this move from here, in which case we would have potentially completed already. So this third wave high here could actually be the bigger third wave. So we need to see how this reacts here. If we do, however, get a retracement to the downside and we find support again, let me just get the fib on this, from this low point up into here. So if we do move back down here and look to retest this 13,000 zone, so 1300 zone, towards this 1300 to this 1293 as a maximum. So basically what we'd be looking for is the potential of having a move to the downside here in a three-wave move. It could be a triangle, it could be a few things if it's a wave 4. But basically it would potentially be looking to target out the 0.382 to this 0.5 if we are looking for further extension within this, and looking at this as an extended fifth wave within this move. So that would effectively then that would also basically extend this wave here. So what we would be looking for here is potential to, so if we look from this high point, I'm actually going to take it to the 382 because it's quite a common zone. And then look, we could look to potentially move up, if we do retrace to that 0.382 line, potentially up into the zone of this 1340 to this 1330 zone. So if we do actually progress to the downside there, it would be quite a steep, well, it wouldn't take very long, this retracement, to be fair. It would be sort of the same length as this, or in time as this one. So it is, like I said, it is possible that we've actually completed into here if this is already, if this wave 3 is actually a wave 5. So if that's the case, basically what we'd be looking at rather is that this is a 1, 2, this could actually be a completed 3 there, and we're still looking for this fourth wave. So this fourth wave could be an additional fourth. So what I mean by that is we have one more additional fourth within this, which we need to complete and then push up. And then basically this would then become our third wave here. Alternatively, our third wave is here. We look to push for this fourth, and then we look to push back up for that fifth wave there. So I do think that there is a leg to the upside here. So we need to just see how this actually plays out, because if we not completed this third wave, effectively what we'd be looking for is a little bit more of a push to the upside, and then that deeper retracement. So we could have this move to the downside, an additional push up. The question is whether we have an additional fourth here. So it all depends on how we count this. If we count this as a flat, then effectively we are completed this wave 3 here. If we count it as a more complex move into this low, and then we look at this as a wave 1, then effectively we've got an additional fourth and fifth. So we need to see we need to give it a bit of time, but we could have some additional extensions within here, which could look to push this higher. If this does go higher, effectively this wave 3 becomes higher, and then the wave 4 position would change. So if we, for instance, if we did complete into that green box area there, what we'd be looking at would be the potential to actually have a retracement back down towards this, anywhere from this 1311 zone to this 1255. So I know it's quite a broad range, but basically within this, I'd potentially look to target out this 0.382 to this 1255. And if it does play out as a 5-wave move, and we're looking for this as a fourth, effectively we would be looking for this to play out as a zigzag or a triangle, basically within this fourth. So we just need to give it a bit of time, see how it reacts, and go from there. So that is the 5-wave option, though. So this would effectively look to actually break this high point here of this 1352. If that happens, then basically I'd be looking towards this 1394 zone as a 1-to-1 of the previous wave. However, we haven't actually got confirmation of that yet. In the case of, we haven't got the confirmation of the fourth wave yet. So we need to just bear in mind that we could have some other kind of a structure within this. And until we cross this 1352, we need to just be cautious, because this could always turn around. And if I just come into here, so the stochastic on the 1 hour is overbought, 4 hours overbought, the 8 hours overbought, the daily is overbought, the weekly still got some room, but it's heading up quickly. So it is possible here that we could actually see some downside coming in. So we need to just monitor how this happens and how this reacts. Otherwise, we could be looking to take this top. But like I said, we're sort of right within that sweet spot for a rejection. Even though the structure is indicating that we should be getting an additional 4th and 5th wave here, until we actually get that 4th wave, we just need to be cautious. So it is possible that we could still look for this is a wave 2, but it's starting to become less and less likely. The fact that we've come up so high, I really wouldn't want to see this go much higher. So what we would want to start to see here is 5-wave structure to the downside. And basically what we want to then see is moves from this high point. Basically, if we look at this, we'd want to see something like this where we form a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. Then we'd look for a retracement, not being able to break back a bit above this high. Then we'd want to start seeing that breaking of these lows set, making a new swing low, maybe coming up and retesting it, and then looking for that progression to the downside. So there is still there's a couple of options here, and until we take this 1352, we can't really write this one off, though it does become less likely the higher we go, because typically wave 2s won't go past that 786 zone. So we've already gone past that, and we've sort of come into the last zone that we'd be looking for is in the 0.854 zone. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on this, and we will keep monitoring it. But basically, if we do break above this high point, then we've got our targets. If we fail to, then we have basically those 4th wave targets. If we start to lose these lows here at this 1236 zone, and then finally these lower targets here of this 1181, and then finally this 1150, then it would still indicate to me that we are looking to push down for an additional leg within this as a bigger 5-wave move. Okay, so we're going to leave the video there. I hope that everyone found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. This is a great way so you can know when we're putting content out, and also turn on those bell notifications. Leave us some feedback down below in the comment section with anything you may want to see. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see each other in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.